पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Now let's talk about this karmendriyani. Vak, pani, pada, payu, upasthaniti, panchakarmendriyani, vacho devata, vannihi, हस्तयोरिन्द्रः पादयोर्विष्णुः पायोर्मृत्युः उपस्थस्य प्रजापतिः इति कर्मेन्द्रियदेवताः So we are seeing certain parts of now Sukshma Shariras, the subtle body. We have seen Jnanendriyani, we have seen regarding mind, buddhi, etc. and intellect, and we have also seen about pranas. Now the Karmendriyani are left over, and here what are the Karmendriyanis, what are the organs of action here has been told. Then what are the spheres or the objects of organs of action, that also has been told. And the devata by which a karmendriya, a particular organ of action functions, that also has been told. So every particular organ of action has a particular devata, etc. has been told here. So vak, pani, pada, payu, upasthanika, because it is basically it is plural. And so ultimately the upastha is a neuter word, and so it has become upasthani. Like phalam, phale, phalani. It's a plural. This is the first case plural. So vak means organ of speech. Panihi, then the hands. Then padaha, legs. Payuhu, organ of evacuation. Upasthaha, organ of procreation. So, iti, thus, pancha karmendriyani, these are the 5 organs of action. And they function because of a devatas. That also has been told here. Vacho devata vannihi, vachaha, of the speech. The devata, the deity, is vannihi, is the fire. Hastayoho indraha, of the hands. Well, the devata is Indraha. Padayoho Vishnuhu, of the feet. Padayoho means of the feet. Naturally, it is 6 case dual, because there are, feet means there are 2, and therefore it has been said here as a dual. So Padayoho means of the feet. Vishnu is a devata. Payoho Mrityuhu, of the organ of evacuation, Mrityu is a devata, Yama is a devata. Upasthasya Prajapatihi, of the organ of creation, procreation. 1 minute. Of the organ of procreation, well, Prajapati is the devata, Brahma is a devata. Brahma means Prajapati always is, Prajapati means one who creates the universe. Well, the creator is Brahma, and therefore Prajapati is Brahma. So Brahma is a devata for upastha, for the organ of procreation. Iti, thus, Karmendriya devataha means Karmendriya devataha is a samasa, and therefore we have to find the relationship between them is of the sixth case only. Therefore, Karmendriyanam devata, we have to say that way. So these are the presiding deities of the organs of action. Now you see, the first thing they have said is Vacho devata vannihi. Vachaha devata vannihi. Agni is the presiding deity of the speech, Vak. Because of whom there is a speech. That's all it means. Because of whom there is a speech. So the fire god is the deity of speech, has been told. Why? Because when you speak, you throw light upon a topic. Just as a fire illumines an object, same way your words, Vachaha means the words, or the organ of speech, definitely reveals a certain subject matter, reveals some object, illumines the object, and therefore fire god is the deity of speech. So a particular when you say, like right now, my organ of speech is active, right? And it is generating a lot of words. And those words are revealing a certain topic, certain subject matter. So as though my words are throwing light upon a topic or different objects, whatever is involved in that topic. And therefore, this is how, just as the fire illumines the object, same way the words also reveal a object. And of course the fire stands for both heat and light both, and therefore we have not to take here heat, because the heat also is generated through the words. That is what is happening right now in lockdown, because the husband is also at home and wife also is at home, and definitely whole day they cannot remain together. When they were generally here, both are active, or one of them is active, means they go out, and therefore generally the no chance of heat getting generated. But now both are at home, then therefore heat is generated. A lot of domestic violence also, there is a report of a lot of domestic violence. Anyway, so it is, so even though fire generates the heat through the words, but definitely that is not the meaning here. We have to take in terms of light. Because Devata indicates not heat, but Devata indicates light. That's what the meaning of Div Dhatu is. Div Dyotane, Div Prakashane they call. Div Dhatu, the root Div, indicates to light, to illumine. And therefore Devata is one which illumines, which reveals, which throws light upon. And so all the Devatas are called Prakashatmikaha. Devata is, by the way, feminine noun. And so it's like, it goes like Rama, Rame, Ramaha, Devata, Devate, Devataha, etc. So they are all Prakashatmikaha, they are of the nature of light. And therefore here it has been sold Vanni, the fire is a Devata of a organ of speech. We have to take the aspect of light only. The fire has both the aspects, heat and light. We have to take the aspect of light, because basically it has been told in terms of Devata. So when we talk of fire here, it is as the source of light, not heat. Because speech implies that you are revealing something. You are revealing some topic. You have some subject matter to talk to. Then only you should speak. That's what also it indicates here. And it is reflected in the names of these three grammatical persons in Sanskrit. Very beautifully revealed. See, in Sanskrit grammar we have this first person, that's called Uttama Purusha. Then the second person called Madhyama Purusha. And the third person is called Prathama Purusha. Third person, it should be Trutiya Purusha. No. Third person is the Prathama Purusha. Then the second person is Madhyama Purusha. And the first person is called Uttama Purusha. So the third person means what? He, she, it, etc. Madhyama Purusha means you. Uttama Purusha means I. Right? So this is how it has been, it has been divided. And the third person is he, she, it, but it is called not Trutiya Purusha, but called Prathama Purusha. Means that is the priority. That's a priority. What is the priority? He, she, it is a priority? Yeah. The subject matter is a priority. Because when you are there, Madhyama Purusha, I am there, Uttama Purusha, what we generally talk about is regarding the world, regarding person, regarding situation, regarding anything, regarding pandemic, whatever it may be. But you generally talk about, you and me when they both meet, we talk about a certain subject matter. That pertains to what? He, she, it, that's all. He, she, it, and then the plural will be they, whatever it may be. And therefore always the subject matter is, which is indicated by this third person, which is called in Sanskrit grammar as a Prathama Purusha, because that's a priority. The subject matter is a priority. There is a worthwhile topic to talk to when we both meet. Uttama Purusha and Madhyama Purusha. You and I, when they both meet, then there should be some worthwhile topic. Then only we should talk. You must have a material, a subject matter to talk about. And that subject matter is indicated in Prathama Purusha. And that is how, he, she, it, like that, anything. It can start with anything. I can talk about, when you meet me, I will talk about Rama, let's say. I will not talk about now COVID-19, but I will talk about Rama. Then Rama was like this, and then I will not say Rama. Once I say Rama was a king of Ayodhya. Once he returned. Rama was a king of Ayodhya, and he was a best ruler, and he was now he has come. And then he ruled the country, and then that's how, for the country I will use eat, etc., etc. He has a wife called Sita, and she was like that. I start, right? So all subject matter is pertaining to he, she, it, or they. And definitely when I talk about Rama, it should be a worthwhile topic. You should be ready to listen. I cannot make you to listen. Generally what happens is people want to talk something, and so they may listen other people. Most of the time you will hear, that persons, whenever a Swami meets, this is just by the way, don't take, you people are totally innocent in this. But we have not, other than this, through the Zoom, we have never met to each other. Except that Tattvabodha I have met in Ahmedabad. But what I'm saying in general, I'm saying right now, that person starts from 1957. Whenever I meet a Swami, I met 10 times. And they always start with 1957. They were regarding their life when they were small and as a children, and where they were in India, and what they did in school, and how were they in study, and where did they go, and all the time. That's okay once you talk. But again they meet, again they start from that point. Because generally old people do not have any future or hope of the future, because it's over now. And the people young, forget about Swami, but if any person who is young, they catch hold of and talk about their past all the time. And young people have a future. They don't have a big past. And therefore they are not worried about, or they don't care about their past or others' past also. And this old person doesn't have a future. He has only past, a glorious past. And so he keeps on talking. In our days, the ghee was sold at a 1 rupee per kg. Okay, that's fine, no problem. But again they meet, again they say, what were the days, and what is this world? Like that. They always talk like this. Well, this is not Pratham Purusha. Even though you have met your grandson and he is a Madhyama Purusha and you are the Uttama Purusha, but the subject matter, the third person, is not Prathama Purusha, because that's not to talk about. That is why the young people are tired of old people. Don't think somebody, it's a generation. What generation gap? Nothing. Old people should have a certain dignity to talk to. Well, then they don't maintain the dignity. And if you want to maintain the dignity, you should know what they really like. And talk about once, it's okay. But don't keep on talking about your own past, in which they are not interested at all. They are not interested. That's how they are fed up. So even that grandfather is sitting in the drawing room, the grandson knows that he is there. So then he goes from some other door outside, or he wants to enter, then he takes another door. That's what it is. What a dignity old person has then, it's not. And otherwise also they all the time poke their nose in their personal lives and everything. Well, you won't then the dignity will not be there. That's how some old people generally maintain dignity, but some lose the dignity because of such kind of an attitude. Anyway, what I am saying is Prathama Purusha, the subject matter, is considered. Prathama means priority. If there is something worthwhile, then you talk. That's the first thing. And then there is something worthwhile to talk to. But then Madhyama Purusha. The second person is a Madhyama Purusha. To the one to whom you want to talk, well, he should have a readiness to listen. Don't make the person to sit and listen. Even you have something worthwhile to talk to. This is called tapas. I remember when Pujya Swamiji took the classes of Vishnu Sahasranama. I think in Rishikesh, I think he took almost for a whole month. I think it was the time of that extra month, our Purushottam Mas, etc. Something was there, and he took for the whole month that Vishnu Sahasranama, from which this book has come, Vishnu Sahasranama book. And daily some 4 classes and 4 classes. And even after all this, so many hours of talking, at the end, Pujya Swamiji said, "Oh, great Vak Tapas." He said, this is a Vak Tapas. This is a tapasya or penance with respect to Vak. Maharaj, you talk so much and you are saying this is a penance with respect to organ of speech. But it is. There is worthwhile to talk. When there is worthwhile to talk, that's a Prathama Purusha. And there are people who are qualified and wants to listen to Madhyama Purusha. If both are there, and then what you talk, well, definitely it is Vak Tapas. So even though there is a worthwhile topic to talk to, if the person is not ready to listen, don't make the person to sit and listen. And if you still talk, in your eye it is a worthwhile, but it is not worthwhile, because the person is not ready to listen. The Madhyama Purusha, the person in front, is not ready to listen. That's how it is. And then comes the first person, Uttama Purusha. Uttama means the last. Uttama means the last. And therefore, the lastly you come into the picture, and that's called Uttama Purusha. See how. So it is amazing how the grammar, shows the thinking behind the whole culture. So people just talk because they want to talk. That's how it is happening. It is different from speaking to throw light upon a topic which is in your hand. So, and that topic has to be manifested in terms of a language. And language definitely includes a gesture also. Language includes a sign language. We know all this. I generally see here all this NBC and MNs, what is that? All the CNN everywhere. When that newsreader, talks, then the other person stands by and do like this. Because there are deaf people, they also want to know what is going on. Well, for them there is a sign language. But in general, there is also communication. Or sometimes a gesture language also. So, but when if we are using the organ of speech, well, we are not saying, telling that even though they are communicating to a deaf person, and therefore that is a sign language, but we are not saying that sign language has a devata called Agni. But definitely when you utter a language, when you use a organ of speech, let us say, devata is Agni. So Agni devata is meant here only as a source of light and not as a source of heat. Even though Vanni stands for heat and light both, and the words also definitely can generate heat, or it can throw a light upon a particular subject matter. But here, when it is said as a devata, well, we say only in terms of light. I mean, our words illumine the particular topic, particular objects, whatever is involved in the topic. So our speech should throw light, not produce heat. We should understand that way. Anyway, that is the thing. Vachoho devata vannihi. And then afterwards it has been told Hastayoho Indraha. For the hands which represent the strength, the presiding deity is a Indra. Indra stands for strength, Balam. And so hands also stands, which represents the strength. The presiding deity is Indra. Means Indra is, because of Indra, the hands have a strength. We can say that way. For the feet, the presiding deity is Lord Vishnu. Means if Indra's anugraha, the grace of Indra Devata, if it is gone, well, definitely our hands will not have a strength. Or if we are losing the strength, then we should understand the Devata's anugraha also is now receding. That is how it is. And Devata, please remember, Devata is Ishvara. Please understand. But Swamiji, you told Devata is Jiva, but then you are also Jiva. You are Ishvara basically. I mean, you are a conscious being. You are Brahman. So you call yourself Jiva from the standpoint of the subtle body or causal body or a gross body, or from the standpoint of all the three bodies. Through the three bodies as a medium, the same consciousness appears as a Jiva, not become Jiva. Same way, through this particular Vanni Devata, well, definitely through the Vanni, the fire. Well, even if you call it as a physical form Vanni, through that the conscious being which is pervading that, is that conscious being through the Vanni is called Devata. Ishvara alone is Devata. And generally, because you see how we should understand, Devatas cannot give Karmaphala. Karmaphala Data is only Ishvara. That's what Bhagavan very clearly said in the second chapter. And therefore, Karmanye Vadhikaraste Ma Phaleshu. Ma Phaleshu means you have adhikara, you have a jurisdiction with respect to the action, not with respect to the result of action. Means that is I have a jurisdiction with respect to result of an action. And therefore, Ishvara alone is a karma phaladata. Then you are saying here with the Devata's anugraha, you are getting a strength or you are etc. etc. Therefore, Devatas are giving a karma phala or what? No. Devatas are basically Ishvara alone. And therefore, Ishvara through that particular form will give the result. That's what Bhagavan told very specific, very, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita also. Well, he says, in order to keep their Shraddha, keep the people's Shraddha in a particular Devata, he gives as though through the Devata, but actually he alone is a Karma Phaladata. Bhagavan has told very clearly. And there are no so many Karma Phaladatas. Otherwise, Devatas are 33 crores or whatever, maybe 330 crores, whatever. Devatas do not give a Karma Phaladata. Devatas are not Karma Phaladata. Basically, Devata is a form of Ishvara alone. And he has assumed that, why he has assumed the form? He has assumed the form to run the government. Well, so just like the officers run the government, he has to run this world parliament. I mean, this whole world has to run. Function has to be smooth, and it is smooth. It is so smooth. You can assume at what time the sun will rise after 100 years. I mean, 2120 on 17th April or 16th April. At what time sun will rise, you are able to tell. So that shows smooth functioning. And therefore, whatever we create will work or not, we are not sure. We are not sure that any time it can topple down. But what Ishvara has created, it has to run smoothly. And therefore, to run smoothly, he has to nominate officers. From where he will get the officers, Swamiji? Does he give any advertisement for that or what? For the recruitment? No, 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 nothing. He himself manifests in those forms. Well, and that is how the ruler Ishvara rules the creation, keeps the creation in order. Well, through the officers, through the devatas. He alone manifests in this. Because, well, any officer or anything in the creation is non-separate from Ishvara. Ishvara alone is a maker, he alone is a material. And therefore, whatever is there is Ishvara. Then whatever is there is a physical form, Swamiji. No, the whole conscious being which pervades, since he is a maker and he is a material, and he is a consciousness. So consciousness pervades the entire creation. That is his body. Just like the consciousness pervades this physical body, the consciousness pervades the cosmic body. And that is where everything is conscious. That's how we have everything in our culture is sacred, we call. So if you just a physical form is not a sacred. If there is a conscious being, the Ishvara is if you take it as a manifestation of Ishvara, well, definitely becomes Devata. That's how Prithvi Devata, Vruksha Devata, this Devata, that Devata. They say you have many gods. We have many gods. We have, in fact, each form is a form of a god. Why 33 crores? We have 330 crores or whatever it may be. Whatever you want to say. All the forms are forms of Ishvara alone. Well, some are exalted forms, and in terms of the physical form, there will be a Taratamyam, etc. Well, that depends upon karma, etc. Now, let's not discuss much, but it basically, the Devata is, through the Devata, he controls the universe. The Samashti, the Ishvara, controls the creation or an individual through this. Because individual is not a totally independent of the total. When you say total, definitely individual is accommodated there, and that individual is definitely dependent upon the total. And so whatever is there, you can look down this physical body in terms of total. That is called Ahangraha Upasana in the Upanishad. So this body itself you look down as a Virat Purusha. And that is how Vaishwanar Upasana is also there. Anyway, what I am saying is whatever is there, you can take it as an individual, or whatever is here, you can take it as a total. And that's how these eyes can be looked upon as a sun and moon. This head can be looked upon as, the heaven. And this hair can be looked upon the plants and shrubs here. That's how it is. And because there is no difference between an individual and total. Total also is looked upon as a body, and individual also is looked upon as a body. And generally in any stotras, generally when before you start the stotra, there is a dhyana shloka. Generally dhyana shloka depicts the Ishvara in the form of a cosmic body. Even in Vishnu Sahasranama also there is a shloka there. Anyway, so definitely a Devata is not a karma phaladata. Ishvara alone appears as a karma, as a Devata and gives the phala, and therefore Ishvara is a karma phaladata. And any Devata is looked upon as a Ishvara, and that is how you can see in the Ganesh Atharva Shirsham, you will find the Ganapati is looked upon there as a Devata also, and Ganapati is looked upon as a Ishvara alone. Also, you can see there very well from what is that? Tatto Jagat Jayate something. I just forgot it. From you, the whole creation has come out. You are the one who sustained the creation, and Tvai Meti, etc. I don't remember the entire verse, but it has been shown there as a Ishvara, and also has been shown as a Devata. And then Devata also should have a certain name and form. Yeah, that also is through the Shastra. Shastra gives a particular name and particular form, and of course the name also comes, and has been also given in that. That's how people imagines many forms of Ganapati. Many forms of Ganapati. In fact, we and Swamiji, we have seen one very big exhibition just on regarding the different forms of Ganapati. So big exhibition. Then we realize what a human intellect can imagine. But their imagination, the human being's imagination, a particular form has been given by a Shastra, and one should worship that form only. Even if you are worshipping a Devata or you are worshipping Ishvara through a particular Devata, well, definitely that's called Ishta Devata worship. Well, you have to take a form which is given. But how will you know the particular form? Then Dhyana Shloka always describes a form. That Dhyana Shloka, whatever the form the Dhyana Shloka describes, that's the authentic form. You have to keep this thing in mind. And of course, a particular form is not there in front of you and you want to worship, then that is your Ishta Devata and you don't want to worship that, then definitely they themselves give that you can do that avahanam of that Ganapati in a that betel nut or what, or in a lump of turmeric, etc. So then definitely you can take a lump of turmeric and you can do all Ganapati puja there. But because that also has a sanction from the Shastra. But one should not by one's own imagination take a form of any Devata and worship. That's not no any form is Swamiji ultimately Ishvara's form, you said, no? So I would like to worship Ganapati in a form of a buffalo. Well, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. And therefore, if you want a particular result by doing the worship of a Ganapati, then Shastra describes the result, then Shastra provides the means and forms and everything, and the method of worship, etc. one has to follow. If you follow the means, you get the end. Otherwise, don't expect the end. So that is how, for the hands which represent strength, the presiding deity is Indra. For the feet, the presiding deity is Lord Vishnu. And being all pervasive, he is the Lord for your legs and feet. And therefore, the person who falls, often, we generally tell him to do Vishnu Sahasranama. That's how, because Vishnu is a deity of a legs or feet, legs and feet both. So a person get an injury either in a feet or a person get a injury in a leg. And some people have a tendency to fall again and again. Well, then we say, then you should worship. You should do Vishnu Sahasranama or any other stotra, etc. pertaining to Vishnu. And then, the Lord of clearance, the Mrityu, that is Yama, is the presiding deity for the organ of evacuation, Payu. So that's how when the kidney is in trouble, Yama Devata is invoked, and because the kidneys, etc. are very important for the clearance of the waste, etc. And therefore, the Yama is invoked for the grace so that the function of the kidney can be restored or the damage can be avoided, further damage can be avoided. And then ultimately the creator Brahmaji is a Prajapati, is the Devata for the organ of procreation. Now after talking about the Indriyas and their Devatas by which they function, whose grace they function, now each organ's sphere or the object of action has been told now. Vacho Vishayah Bhashanam Panyor Vishayah Vastu Grahanam Padayor Vishayah Gamanam Payor Vishayah Malatyagah Upasthasya Vishayah Ananda iti. Vachaha Vishayah Bhashanam. Vachaha, sixth case again. Vak is a word. Vak is a word, and Vach is a word. Chakarantaha, Strilingaha, Vach Shabdaha, and its sixth case is Vachaha. Vak Vachaha, and then the sixth case is Vachaha, of speech. Vishaya of speech, or the sphere or the object is bhashanam, speaking. I mean, the sphere of the activity of organ of speech is speaking. Then hastayor vishaya vastu grahanam, of the hands, hastayoho, sixth case dual. Of the hands, vishaya, the sphere, is grasping the objects, not only grasping objects, dropping the objects also, but anyway, we will see that. Padayoho vishaya gamanam, padayo, of the feet. Vishaya, the sphere, is gamanam, movement. Payoho vishaya malatyagaha, of the organ of evacuation. The vishaya, the sphere, is the elimination of waste. And upasthasya vishaya anandaha, of the organ of procreation. The vishaya, the object or the sphere, is pleasure. Iti. Thus, these are the, iti means these are the vishayas, different spheres of different organs of action. Now the sphere of organ of speech is bhashanam, speaking. Then panyoho vishaya, pani shabda is there, pani. Pani means it's a ikara, rasva ikarantaha. And the shabda is pani. Pani means a hand. And panyoho, sixth case, dual. So the hands from scratching onwards have their scope in grasping the objects, vastu grahanam, and also, I mean, it means receiving an object. It means also dropping an object, because sometimes you receive the object in order to drop, not at this place again, but to drop it somewhere else. Like after peeling the skin of our vegetables, you pick up and then you drop it somewhere. So that's also function. So just grahanam means we thought only picking up or receiving or just our grasping. No. There's other function also is there, and that is dropping an object. And even as I said, scratching etc. also through the hand. Well, they don't allow it during when you are performing a Vedic ritual etc. You can't do. Suppose you are offering. This is by the way. If you are offering something and with ahuti, I mean oblation in the fire, and in between you feel like itching, and so with the hand, through the right hand you have to offer, right, oblation, and with that hand you scratch somewhere, then that's not allowed. You have to get up, wash the hands etc. So they keep for that they have, see what a thing they have thought over. They haven't thought that this Yajmana during this Yajna ritual, he may get a itching sensation. So there is a particular instrument has been given. I mean a horn of some, I think, animal or something is there. You have to pick up that thing, and with that you have to do, not with the hand. That's how it is. So much stipulation, I mean, of varieties of the things. And we feel what a big deal. Let them tell whatever they say. But we can just pick up, I mean, we through hand over only we do that. Well, it's not correct. Anyway, in terms of, I mean, Vedic rituals, etc., Laukika, I mean, it's an entirely different thing. So, here after saying Panyoho Vishaya Vastu Grahanam, then they say Padayoho Vishaya Gamanam. Area of these legs and feet is Gamanam. Gamanam is moving around, well, which includes even kicking a football. And we have seen there, this Padayoho Vishnu, right? We have seen. So why Vishnu, Well, what happens is through your feet or these legs, you can move around. You can cover any distance. People cover the entire world. They go on foot or they go on bicycle. There are people, I think, so many adventurous in this country also, they are there. They just take a bicycle and they move around from country to country. So many months, they cover almost the globe. And there are people who covers more than once the whole globe through ultimately your legs. And therefore, legs as though are all pervading. As though. And Vishnu also is all pervading. How Swamiji Vishnu is all pervading? Because the meaning they give for the Vishnu is Veveshti iti Vishnu. Veveshti. Veveshti means which pervades everything is Vishnu. And so since the Vishnu is all pervading, since our feet also is as though move around and covers everything, Vishnu also becomes a Devata who is all pervading, becomes a Devata for the feet. That's how they connect. Anyway, so the area of the legs and feet is Gamanam, moving around, which includes even a kicking a football or anything. And Payoho Vishayaha Malatyagaha. Well, the province of the, organ of evacuation is throwing out the waste. Very important, right? And therefore, this both both are important. Throwing away the waste in terms of urine, etc., and throwing away the other waste, excreta, etc., also is very important. Otherwise, it creates a problem in the body. So this has been given. Both do the job of this throwing away the waste. Kidneys also throw away the waste, and these also throw away the waste. Upastha is the organ of procreation, and there is a particular pleasure involved in that. So it's a Sukha Vishesha, and that is told here. So with this, as such, Sthula and Sukshma Shariras are explained in some detail. And the Devatas, etc., functions, Devatas especially are mentioned so far as Jnanendriyani and Karmendriyani are concerned. Functions, of course, of Prana, we have seen the function, and mind, Buddhi, Manaha and Buddhi, mind and intellect. Well, that the function of that, those two things also we have seen. So in terms of function of all the organs of our subtle body, we have seen. And now before going to Karana Shariram, we have a job to do. What is that job to do? We have to know clearly. Sukshma Sharira's description is not meant for Sukshma Sharira. It is meant for me, who has a confusion regarding this, that I am a subtle body, I am mind, I am intellect, I am this. So we'll have to see few of the things which generally occur in your mind as an experience. And in that experience, you try to discriminate it. I will try to narrate few things. And other than that, on top of it, you can add few more things also. And we'll see that. And before that, let's go to the definition of Atma, in which the very first part, as I said, that you have to negate something, since there is something which you have already taken as an Atma. So first negate that part, and then own up what you really are. So negation involves that we have started with, in the definition of Atma, Sthula, Sukshma, Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. Vyatirikta means distinct. Distinct from Sthula Sharira. Distinct from the gross body, which we have done. When we have completed the gross body, we have done it for a few minutes. This Atma is distinct from the gross body. Now today we will have to, since we have finished this Sukshma Sharira also, understanding of a Sukshma Sharira in terms of its definition, etc. Now we'll have to go into the same thing. Sukshma Sharirat ka Vyatiriktaha Atma. Atma is distinct from this subtle body. Now, in the subtle body, there are many components. In that, I am first going to the pranas. And the prana, of course, means five-fold pranas. Pancha pranaha. So, what are they? Pranaha, apanaha, vyanaha, udanaha, samanaha. See, if you think that I am not Sukshma Sharira, it is not going to help. That never helps. I am not a prana, I am not apana. That also is not going to help. It doesn't create any kind of a cognition. It doesn't give you a clarity of a self. So basically, we have to see the function. I generally take a particular part of the sense organ in terms, a particular part of a subtle body in terms of its function. Like, I will start with the prana. What is prana? Means what is the function of prana? It's a respiration. It's a respiration. So basically, you should say whenever there are three things involved. There are three things involved. What are the three things involved with respect to a particular limb of the subtle body? Let's say the prana. Prana's job is respiration. That's its function. So either either it is functioning, either it is not functioning, either it is malfunctioning. That is a direct experience of it. So you have to go to the level of this, go to the function of that particular limb of the subtle body, and there appears three things. Either it functions, either it doesn't function, either it malfunctions. And there, at that level, that is your experience. Negate that part only. Whether when it is functioning itself, you negate. Whether it is not functioning, you negate. Whether it is malfunctioning, you negate. Negate means what? That is not you. That is what the negation is. So let's say prana. Prana's function is respiration, and generally we know this. The people who get infected with this COVID, etc., they have that respiratory problem. You know that very well. Or sometimes ourselves also, because of a congestion or because of some other kind of thing, we feel sometimes a problem in respiratory system. I mean, some respiratory problems. I'm not able to, Swamiji, breathe. That is your experience. I'm not able to breathe properly, or I was not able to breathe, etc., etc. So at that level, you negate. So I don't have a respiratory problem. I mean, I don't have then what is that problem belongs to prana. There is a malfunction, or there is a non-function, or there is a function. Now, Swamiji, I am able to breathe. Don't say that. Even if you say, you in your mind do a discrimination. What is a discrimination? Well, the respiration is a job of a prana. So basically, I don't breathe. Prana only breathes. That's how you have to say. And I'm going to show you something else. But before that, I will just complete this part of pranas. Then I am free from the problem of digestion. Generally, we that's our experience. I have some Swamiji problem with regard to digestion. Not able to digest. I am not able to digest. You are not able to digest, or Samana is not able to digest. Well, when you say that, there is a viveka. That's called Atma Anatma Viveka. The subtle body is part of Anatma, and therefore you are now living the claim. You are living the claim on the subtle body, and therefore you are free from the digestion problem. You are free from circulatory problem. People, they say this thing also. I have so many blocks, but so many blocks is in the gross body, in the heart, etc. Well, but ultimately that particular problem has arisen due to a circulatory problem, and well, you say I have a constipation, etc., etc. So that part I'm not going much, but so basically all this respiration, digestion, constipation, or problem in respiration, problem in evacuation, problem in digestion, problem in circulation, etc. All this belongs to prana. That is a very primary thing actually. And now second thing you say, Swamiji, but it is now I'm not able to appreciate it. Yeah, you will able to appreciate when I say something more. See, they all are, you don't have you have a respiratory problem. How do you know? If I ask you, now something else starts. How do you know? You say, Swamiji, I know I have a problem. How do you know? He or she asks me, how do you know that I don't have? I have a problem. But I say, how do you know that you have a problem? I know I have a problem. Fine, that's what I want. I know. I mean, this problem, a malfunction in a respiration, malfunction with respect to a particular limb of a subtle body called prana, is object of your knowledge. That's what it means. And it is evident to you. That problem, a malfunction with respect to prana, is evident to you. And therefore, you are different from that. What is evident to you is different from you. That's what you remember our original sentence. This is our Mahavakya. What is evident to I is non-I. How can you say this computer is evident to me right now? This computer is evident to I. I am not the computer. Right? That is how you should start. There is something more in that. But at least we should start with this. So same way, the problem in digestion is there. How do you know? Somebody, I know. Well, so you know that there is a digestion problem. Well, that digestion problem becomes evident to you. It's an object of your knowledge, object of consciousness. And therefore, I know when you say, you are saying, I am a conscious of that problem, right? And therefore, you are consciousness, well, and that is an object of consciousness, that is sufficient. It's an object of consciousness and I is a consciousness. And therefore, well, it is different from me. It is just an object. Well, that problem is revealed to me. I will tell you something more about it later. First, then the third thing. There is a problem in circulation. That also you say, Swamiji, I know the blood doesn't reach to the what they say, blood doesn't reach to the brain, etc., etc. Generally, this is a problem in old age because of some blocks or something, whatever. Well, it's then how do you know that this is there? I know, Swami, there is a problem in circulation of blood. Well, therefore, it's an object of knowledge, object of consciousness. That is you. Consciousness, that is you, that becomes an object. Why you are saying that? I will tell you that. But better you, at least you first do this much division. What is revealed to you, what is evident to you, is not you. Well, that's how you should start. And they reveal themselves to you, or you reveal them. That's what the problem is. We'll see that. So it is. That is also object of consciousness. Well, I am consciousness. It is an object, and I'm just a subject, and that is an object. And subject and object cannot be one. So object of consciousness and consciousness cannot be the one. And therefore, basically, you should first look into these terms. And then I have a vomiting sensation, Swamiji. Well, that also is part of, it's a function of a udana. So there is a malfunction in udana. So you say I feel like throwing out or something. So I have a vomiting sensation, etc. Well, so all this malfunctions regarding prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, etc. Respiration, function of a respiration, function of a digestion, function of a evacuation, and function of a circulation, and function of a in terms of throwing away, etc. Well, vomiting, etc. All these functions basically are known to you. They are object of consciousness. When I ask you how they are there, you say, I know them, that this is how it is. And then the malfunction also is known to you. If they don't function, it may happen that particular function gets suspended for some time. As if, congestion is so much that we feel that as if the breathing has stopped. So all this, whether it functions or non-functions or malfunction, all is object of knowledge, object of consciousness. And therefore, they are basically, these functions are revealed to you, and I is the one who is a revealer. I is the one who is a revealer, and they are revealed to me. I am self-evident, and they need, as I asked you, how can you say that this particular malfunction is there? How can you say there is a problem of respiration? You have to tell me, yes, I know that it is there. I know there is this problem of constipation. I know there is a problem in circulation. I know, Swamiji, there is a problem of digestion. So definitely, they can't reveal themselves to you. They need you to reveal themselves. Please understand this. They need you, the consciousness, to reveal. Without consciousness, try to reveal. Without consciousness, please try to reveal these things as it is. No, they are not self-revealing. They are revealed by the consciousness. And therefore, as I said, a computer is evident to you. Well, And the consciousness is self-evident, whereas computer is evident to you, means computer needs you, the consciousness, to reveal itself. That's how they are dependent for revelation to you. I'm talking about outside object. Then we come down again to the prana, etc. Any object which is surrounded, around you, whatever is there, they reveal only when you are there. So that's a computer is there, you are there. Pen is there, you are there. Dog is there, you are there, right? Dog is there, I am not there. Don't say that. Otherwise, how will you prove the existence and revelation of a dog? You cannot. Dog is revealed because you are revealed yourself. You are revealing yourself. And therefore, you are the one who is self-revealing, self-evident. And therefore, being a consciousness, you reveal yourself, and they reveal when they need for their revelation you. They are basically dependent on you for their revelation. And therefore, I am the one who does not require any evidence. I am the one who doesn't require any other means of knowledge to reveal myself. I am is a self-evident. What is self-evident is self-existent also. And therefore, anything you can say, right, a computer is. How can you say? Swamiji, I know the computer is there. So means you have revealed the computer. Once you say the computer, once you know the computer, it is revealed, then you say it is. And therefore, what is revealed and what is existent always goes together. Revelation and existence goes together. So what is revealed to you basically is, what is revealed to you is also dependent upon for revelation on you, as well as for its existence also you. You cannot tell me pot is, I am not. You cannot tell me. Pot is, consciousness is. Thought is, consciousness is. Computer is, consciousness is. Mobile is, consciousness is. Book is, consciousness is. And therefore, consciousness reveals the object. Because of consciousness is self-evident, and everything is evident on you. But what did you prove? You are telling day in and day out all these things we know. Well, when what is revealed is dependent upon the consciousness, then its existence also is dependent upon the consciousness, which is consciousness is the self-existent thing. And well, what is for existence, whatever the object for its existence depend upon the consciousness, definitely its reality is lower than the self-existent Atma. What is dependent for the existence on something else, not something else, always on self-existent Atma, that is called Mithya. That's how we have defined when we talked about in Tattvabodha regarding Satya Mithya. Then we said Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya. We have said that. And Atma Satyam, then we said Atma is, since it is self-revealing and invariably present in all the experience, without which no experience can take place, and because of whom all the objects are revealed. That's Atma, which is self-revealing, is self-existent, and other than that, everything in the creation depends upon the consciousness for revelation and for existence, and is not required, but let's put it, but for their existence. And therefore, what is dependently existent? Well, it is Mithya. If it is Mithya, definitely it cannot affect the Satyam. I am the Satyam, which is self-existent, and definitely any problem regarding a function of anything in the subtle body, any limb, well, I am the one who reveals it. I am the one because of whom they exist, and therefore they cannot affect me. That is how we should go. I am going to go in some detail in that regarding each limb with few sentences. Tomorrow we'll do that job. and then we'll start Karma Sharira. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari